How do you go from being locked inside a prison cell to being featured on one of the biggest rap albums of the year?
Los Angeles rapper Lefty Gunplay.
He's making his way into that.
Oh yeah,
category.
Lefty's up there. Yeah, shout out Lefty. Yeah.
I feel like he has so much internet hype and people are so fascinated by him, but doesn't necessarily maybe have the biggest songs.
Lefty Gunplay didn't come into the rap game the traditional way. He wasn't groomed by labels. He wasn't introduced through industry cosigns. He stepped out of a California prison and into the spotlight with nothing but hunger, scars, and authenticity.
I feel like Lefty has so much potential, and I be telling him all the time, like, bro, you got so much potential. All you gotta do is lock in and focus.
At first, he was seen as a character, someone to laugh at, meme, and mock. But through raw talent, undeniable energy, and a cosign from Kendrick Lamar himself, Lefty turned the industry on its head. This is the story of how Lefty Gunplay proved everybody wrong. Long before the world knew the name Lefty Gunplay, he was just Franklin Holiday, a kid growing up in Baldwin Park, California. Raised in a mobile trailer by his Guatemalan mother and grandmother, Lefty came from a place where dreams were rare and survival was the priority. He was gifted. In high school, he stood out as a natural athlete, starting varsity in football, baseball, and basketball. He had the raw discipline, charisma, and competitive fire to go pro in sports, but everything would change in one night. At just 18 years old, a house party turned violent. An altercation broke out. Lefty pulled out a gun and fired into a crowd. Nobody died, but it was enough to change the course of his life forever. He was sentenced to 13 years in prison, serving 9 behind bars, most of them in Pelican Bay, one of the harshest maximum security prisons in California. In a place meant to break men, Lefty began building himself. He started writing every day, bars about his pain, his family, his regrets, and the world outside that had already moved on. With encouragement from fellow inmate Jap 5, Lefty began believing that maybe rap wasn't just a fantasy, it was a future. He didn't have a studio. He didn't even have a mic, just a notepad and a dream. In early 2024, Lefty Gunplay walked out of prison a changed man, but the world wasn't ready for what came next. From the moment he hit the streets, he was camera ready. His personality was electric, loud, unpredictable, and unforgettable.
They call me Superman, baby, in my hood I'm a shooter, man, I'm a trooper, man. Fuck your bitch, call the Uber, man.
He became a podcast legend. Clips from interviews from platforms exploded across TikTok and Instagram with millions of views. People weren't listening to the music at first, they were watching him. They laughed, made memes, mocked his voice, and exaggerated his style.
People just wanted to something to laugh at. They wasn't taking dude serious.
But if you go off beat, it's insane. It's like he's just doing whatever on the track.
I think he just got lucky the first couple times.
It was obvious being new to fame. Lefty didn't know how to handle it and went off a few times.
What's the craziest thing I've seen about me on the internet? The drawings that they make. Whoever made that drawing, like, man, I'll break your fingers, dog, on the set. Like, if I see you in person, like, you wouldn't do that, like.
He wanted to be taken seriously, but nobody was ready to hear the pain behind the punchlines. Still, he didn't quit. He dropped tracks like Spin the Block, Certified Stepper, and Mob Ties. He hit the booth relentlessly. Every time a new video surfaced, it was the personality, not the pen, that got attention. He was caught in limbo, too talented to ignore, too wild for the industry to fully accept. The memes kept coming, but Lefty started tuning them out. He stopped trying to go viral and started working like he had something to prove, which he did. He got focused. He started locking in at the studio for real, cutting back on podcast appearances, ignoring clout chasers, and surrounding himself with people who respected the craft, not just the character. Soon, Lefty landed collaborations with rising and established names. OGZ, known from Shoreline Mafia, tapped in. Others followed. His voice, once mocked, was now recognized for its authenticity, its pain, its weight. Then the moment that flipped everything. Kendrick Lamar. Without much warning, Lefty appeared on a track titled TV Off on Kendrick's GNX album. The verse was gritty, vulnerable, and emotional. The internet was shook. The song charted top 10 on Billboard. Lefty's name was everywhere. Blogs, playlists, you name it. And just like that, the narrative flipped. Lefty was now standing next to one of the greatest rappers of our generation. He wasn't a gimmick anymore. He was a story of redemption, and rap was finally listening. In a world full of facades, Lefty Gunplay stayed real. He made it out of prison, out of poverty, out of the meme category, and into the rap conversation for real. He's not your typical artist. He doesn't fit the mold, but maybe that's why he's exactly what hip-hop needed. This isn't just a comeback story, it's a reminder. The ones they laugh at now might be the legends they salute tomorrow.